Ugh. Such a sucker.
Henry, everything's ready for tomorrow's presentation. The test all went through without a hitch.
Great work, Al. You should go get some rest. They'll be here early tomorrow.
You're still working?
Yeah. One more test never hurts.
Not gonna argue with you there.
Initialize.
This was you, Seb.
Oh. Great spot.
Welcome back, Doctor.
System. Run a stress test via artificial memory conversion.
Please choose test entity reference.
Search memories for snow. Wait, there. Go back.
I'll be taking that coat, thank you.
Entity selection confirmed. Keep personality and traits.
Yes.
Keep extrapolated memories.
No. Use generic memories.
Please select memory setting for artificial insertion.
It doesn't matter. Choose one.
Memory loaded. Visit at U. Haynes Estate.
That's fine.
Initiating foreign entity to memory setting. Entity activation in 3, 2, 1.
And we've hit the end.
So, we've reached the end.
Are you actually...
I know you have more questions, but I have an urgent theory that needs your help testing. Would you come back to the mansion with me?
I don't really have a choice, do I? And we hit the final act of the game.
That actor just always so frustrates me. Because, like, it's like her dad was saying, right? The life that child lived matters, even if it was short. And the fact that it just drives her so far away. Like, and I get it. She...
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. She feels personally responsible for life. Because it's like, if I sacrificed myself for that child, okay. And that's why she's like, that's why she takes it so personally. I said first. But it's still just like, it's so frustrating that she doesn't see, like, that the 10 years of that child's life, those short, it looks more like maybe 5 to 8, right? The 5 to 8 years of that child's life worth something. If that makes sense.
Do we know why the kid died?
So the kid gets in this plot point. The kid gets the mother. So Linry had like a super rare condition, and it, they when she was pregnant, they were like, honestly, your chance of something bad happening is the same as like pretty much anyone, so go for it, right? So they go for it, and
I mean, they were like, it's up to you. Basically.
Yeah, it's up to you, but like your risks are not necessarily really high. So then they go for it, and then she gets sick, and what they say to her is, we can induce the pregnancy, and so you induce the pregnancy and give you treatment, so you will live.
Induce labor, as it is.
Yeah, we'll induce your labor, and you will live, but the child will have a lot of issues. Or you will likely die, and the child, or you have a high chance of death.
Well, high chance of death, and or have a life-altering impairment from that point on.
But the child will survive.
Yeah, child has a much better chance of living and developing
properly. And they chose to induce the pregnancy.
Labor.
The labor. And so... and so as such, the child has a terminal illness, and then dies at like, what would you say, Alan, like anywhere between like 6 to 8 years old or so?
Yeah, they look like they actually made it to being around like probably 8.
Yeah, and that's why the dad's gonna, and it's such an extra. That's when the dad's gonna do this like special thing that he did with her. And she had a terminal illness when she was little too. So the dad is like, yeah, that's kind of like.
Well, I'm assuming he figured that his grandson's time was coming short, and so that's why he's like, I want to do this now. But of course, unfortunately, he doesn't get the chance.
So it's and she then kind of, because she feels she feels, one, as if it's 100, right, and 2, just from the natural pain, the pain makes her go, yeah, she then locks herself back into work, and that's what we've met.
And I'm assuming her marriage has failed.
Well,
I'm not sure if it's failed, but it definitely going.
Quincy, I think it shows like her phone while she's at work, and she's been ignoring it.
Yeah, Quincy keeps trying to reach out, but like after Toby died, she shut down and wasn't really engaging with anyone anymore.
And you saw they like slept on opposite sides. They like used to cuddle up and they're facing opposite sides. And that's kind of what's gut wrenching for me. Is like, honestly, like I've said this to Anna multiple times. When we were talking about To the Moon, actually, there are things I would love. There are things I would love to like have done that are opportunities that have passed me by, right? But I wouldn't change my life for the world. And that's easy for someone who like hasn't had that much massive tragedy hit me to say. So get back to me if I ever have massive tragedy. But like, the opportunities I lost presented opportunities I have now, and to a certain extent, like it was actually just making me think. We had family friends who had a child with CP, and due to
What is that?
cerebral palsy, they can't move very well.
Ah.
Usually, they can live a vaguely full life. However, this child passed at a young age, and there was a beauty in that family. One, in how they took care of that child, and two, in how they like lived with that child after that child's death. And it just, that's the other thing that makes me feel so sad in this part. It's just, she can't do that. Like, Linry can't do that. And that's just so gut-wrenching.
I'm going to suggest that we get back to the story now as well.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Hannah.
Downstairs. What is it?
I mean, what isn't it? But for one, I guess I'm still trying to get used to this being the real you. Hey, I didn't mean that in a bad way. And even then, why would you care about what I think anyway?
Downstairs.
Alright, now that I have control again, I think we should call it here for the night.
Very well.
Fair.
So, say goodbye,
Bye.
everyone.
Goodbye.
So,
Bye.
goodbye. So this is gonna sound really weird, but you know what this made me really think of?
What?
Do you know that comic, that short comic people made about Danny Phantom meeting death when he like hit the button?
Maybe? I don't think I've heard of this.
I have not.
I recommend looking up. It's a very neat comic. But like, there's a part in the comic where like Death is like, "All right, Danny Phantom, time to come. You know, we're going on." And he's like, "I can't die yet. I'm only 14." And he goes, "No, you're not only 14. You're not only 14. You're already 14." You know, it's all entirely based on how you look at it. And if you look at things of like, "Oh, I'm only this, I'm only that," it's like you fail to realize exactly how far you've come, and exactly like kind of like the reason why I started thinking about this was because of like what were you saying is she blames herself, and it's like if you look at it that way, you forget the fact that this child did get to experience 8 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking at it like, "Oh man, he died so young." It's like, yeah, but he still lived. As short as it was still there.
And that reminds me of like a philosophy that I've been kind of like viewing and kind of believing in more and more, which is the fact that we exist at all is such a rare thing. The idea that life wouldn't be is more likely than the idea that life would be. And so it's important to cherish and actually value that people were here for whatever time they were.
Yes.
There's just a beauty in it. this weird thing that is our humanity, right?
By the way, DJ Hannah, you guys are so far from your mic, or your mic is just so
We're
soft
literally
nowadays.
next to it. That's fine. There's just the beauty in like existing, right? And living in this world together. In this weird thing we call the world.
Alright, well, I'm gonna close the game now.